All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim teaching about the mind while I'm out. That's the sincerity and truth. It's the Great Millstone Dallas branch, and I got the brother Anah here with me, and Yatazak. And hey, the Lord gave us another opportunity to continue this series and be hopefully um, edifying for the hopeful elect, man. You know, we had Judges chapter 20. Uh, we've gone through a lot of history, brought up a lot of maps. Through the Spirit, we've been able to show how back then is what's happening now in certain ways. You know, being able to mesh all these things up together. So we're going to get into chapter 20, Lord willing. It'll be edifying to the hopeful elect. And for everybody else, hey, it is what it is.
Khan. Yep, that's right. Yeah, and the last chapter went into was chapter 19 with just to kind of give a quick recap. Actually, let's go back to it to give this account. Chapters 19, 20, and 21 are all consecutive account, right? Basically starting with the situation with the Levites concubine, ending up being taken advantage of, as you could say, assaulted, right, sexually, and then end up, pretty much being an example of what happens when you don't have Yahweh Shem Shai as your leader. And it is said multiple times in chapter 19, it says, when there was no king in Israel, right? And how it's supposed to be really is Yahweh Shem Shai is supposed to be your king, right? Like the scripture says. Let me actually get that real quick. Start with that. Let's see here. I believe it's in 1 Samuel. Let's see. 1 Samuel chapter 12. Let me share this. 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 12. All right. This is one of the chapters where Samuel was basically addressing Israel, saying, look, all right, you guys, as a nation, you asked for a king. Well, here you go. Right. And actually, this is a good place to start up right here. In verse 10, it says, 1 Samuel 12 and 10, and they cried unto the Lord, unto Yahweh Shem Shai, and said, we have sinned because we have forsaken Yahweh Shem Shai and served Balaam and Ashtaroth, right, which we go into all the time. Baal and Ashtaroth is basically the female deity that was worshipped, right next to Baal, which is the same spirit that our people are in today, with this Queen of Heaven worship, woman empowerment, all of it is all, spiritually tied. But our people at one point turned to the Lord, when they saw that these other gods wasn't saving them. Okay. And they asked for the Lord to deliver them, right? It says, but now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies and we will serve thee, right? And the Lord sent Jerubbaal, which is Gideon, okay, and Badon and Jephthah and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and you dwelled safe, right? These are the accounts that we're going into now. All right, this book of Samuel here is written, after the book of Judges, all right, or took place after the book of Judges. And here's the point in verse 12. It says, and when ye saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, ye said unto me, nay, but a king shall reign over us. When Yahweh Bashem Shai, your power was your king. You see that? So the Lord, and that's one thing our people they don't want to accept. They don't want to accept that Yahweh Bashem Shai is our Malak. He's our king. The Hebrew word for Malak or for a king is Malak, right? He's the one that rules over us because that's what a king does. You see, he's our husband. He's everything. So going back to this account here, going back to Judges chapter 20, all right, you see what happens when Israel doesn't resort back to their power. Okay, it's basically just confusion. So we're going to get starting at verse 1, we're going to get into this account. All right, it says Judges chapter 20, verse 1. It says, then all the children of Israel went out, because when you read the end of chapter 19, we're not going to read it again, but go back and read it. Basically, this Levite, which he remained unnamed in the account here, but he sent a portion of his concubine's body, all right, to throughout the different corners of Israel, different tribes of Israel, to basically bring awareness to what had happened, to his concubine in that city, um, in that Benjamite city, right? And so this is the events following that testimony. It says, "Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man, from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead unto the Lord in Mizpeh." Right, and that was Mizpeh was one of the cities at that time where Israel would gather. Whenever there was a huge conflict or all the different tribes needed to meet together. Right, and the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of the Most High, 400,000 footmen that drew sword. Right. Um, it says, "Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpeh." Make sure the audio is still good. Okay, the elder checked out, but Lord willing, he'll check back in soon. Okay. It says the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel had gone up to Mizpeh. Now, I had a map. Let me go ahead and pull a map up real quick. Y'all know how much I love my maps. And let's show this screen here. All right, this is a map. Where's my map that shows Mizpeh? It's okay. This one, I can actually search it here. Chapter. Then we got the elder back. Got you back on? All right, cool. I was just going into one of my maps, Aquan. You hear me? I can hear you good. Can you
I
hear
don't
me?
know. I don't know if it can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay. It got you a little choppy and keep going in and out. So I'm gonna see if I can
Okay.
pull up the stream yard on my phone.
Okay,
I'm
con.
like,
That's a
yeah,
bet.
look like Satan on one right now.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You know.
Oh, oh, Buster.
Let me read a little bit more of this. Let me read a little bit more of this here in Judges chapter 20 chapter
It sound
20.
pretty good. It sound pretty good now. So yeah, I'm gonna see if it'll stay on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's a lag or not, but I can hear you clear though. All right, this is Judges chapter 20, verse 3. Okay, it says, "Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel had were gone up to
Oh fuck.
Mizpeh. Then said the children of Israel, tell us how was this wickedness? And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, and I and my concubine to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and and beset. Hold on, make sure my screen is still sharing. It's not sharing. Let me make sure I put this up here. Share screen. Put this back up here. All right, cool. All right, I was reading verse 5. It says, And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me, and my concubine have they forced, that she is dead. So again, if you read chapter 19, basically the Levite is recounting all the acts that happened to him when he was approached, by those wicked Benjamites in Gibeah, right? Let me make sure that you get back on. Let me add you to the stage. All right, cool. Yeah, let me know if you can't hear me, Zaquan, or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, that sound a whole lot better.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. All right, so
Done.
I'm gonna keep reading here in this Judges 20, and I read verse 5 again. All right, it says, And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about me, round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me. and my concubine have they forced, that she is dead. So when it says have they forced, meaning they imposed their will upon her, okay, sexually. But guess what? They wanted to get with the man. They wanted to get with the Levite man, you know, and abuse him, just like how Sodom and Gomorrah, that spirit that they were in, you know, when the angels had came into the city and pretty much were lodging with Lot. They beat Lot's pretty much beat his door down just to get to those men, right? So that same spirit that you know, the individuals of Sodom and Egypt were in was the same spirit that these men of Gibeah were in, right? And you know, the Lord ain't, you know, he ain't having that. So basically this is, you know, the events that played out. Okay. It says in verse 6, and I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. All right. So that was him basically giving that account. It says, behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. Okay. The scriptures say, do nothing without counsel. So, matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. You can speak for a second, Zaquan. I'm gonna pull up the scripture real quick.
Son, and it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you how wicked Israel can be without without the covering of the Lord, man. You see, Israel is always going at it with each other. You know, this act was so wicked and out of pocket that one tribe decided it was gonna fight all the rest of the tribes. You see, because it ain't like it even said in the commentary on the My Sword app when Israel came to Benjamin, the leaders of Benjamin didn't get rid of the dudes that did the wicked act. They took their side. You see, showing you how stubborn Jay can be. You know, but this is just one of many battles that Israel had amongst itself, and that goes back to the curses, man. The eye being evil toward his brother, and that's what I'm saying. The Lord didn't set it up. It wasn't part of the covenant for Israel to go to war with each other. But when Israel agreed to the covenant, the Lord said, if you don't uh, uh, um, adhere to the rules, if you don't follow my laws and statutes that I give you this day, then I'm gonna put these curses on you. And this is a result of the curses. You know,
That's right. Yeah, there's a couple of scriptures that okay, actually this is great. Sirach 37 and 16. Let me pull it up here. Sirach 37, let me share the screen. Sirach 37 and 16. All right, because this was necessary, you know, before you just rashly go out and act off of emotion. This is what Israel did. All right, the remainder of Israel that actually had their wits about them. This is Sirach 37 and 16. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action. You see? So this is what was going on. They were taking into account the deeds that happened. Okay. And this was the result. Okay. Judges 20 and 8. Going back to this screen here. And all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go to his tent, neither will we any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it. Meaning that basically they're gonna pick which tribe basically is meant to go up to fight against that city, right? Verse 10, it says and we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000, and 1,000 out of 10,000, to fetch victual for the people, that they may do when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel. So they were going to take, a 10%, of the men to go and bring war supplies, food, whatever was necessary to sustain the other group of men that was slated to go against this city here, Gibeah. Okay, so they were like, look, we ain't gonna stop until basically this place gets taken off the earth, right? And so verse 11, it says, so all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribe of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is this that is done among you? You see that? So all the other tribes, right? Pull up my map. All these other surrounding tribes, right here came up. They came up to Benjamin, right? So Naphtali, Asher, Zebulun, Issachar, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Dan, Ephraim, they was all like, yo, Benjamin, what's up, man? What the heck you doing? Right? You know, what's this madness, you know, that was done in Gibeah, right? Let's see the response. Okay, verse 13. Now therefore deliver us the men, the children of Belial. All right, dude, good for nothing individuals, right? When we look up that word, it says which are in Gibeah, and that we may put them to death and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. So like you said, Zaquan, and I think this might be a good time to check out that commentary. But basically, Israel, you know, was like, look, we're gonna get these niggas out the way for you, bring them, bring the men of that city, deliver them to us, and we're gonna take care of them, right? But when you read here in this commentary, Bridgeway Bible commentary, it says soldiers from all Israel gathered together, gathered to attack Gibeah. Not only did the rulers of Gibeah make no attempt to punish the murderers, but the leaders of Benjamin also took their side, and Benjamin decided to fight against the other 11 tribes. See, so that was really the Lord was judging not just that specific city of Gibeah, but you know, he wanted this to happen. Okay, he wanted this to happen. There was nothing that, you know, could have been said to those guys in Benjamin to make them, you know, turn their hearts. You know, the Lord put a specific spirit on them, right? To buck up, right? Like the scripture says here in Proverbs 16:1, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord, right? So even when a man says something that's, you know, like the situation with Rehoboam, right? The son of Solomon. Rehoboam, all he had to do was just listen to his counselors and say, yeah, basically everybody keep doing what y'all been doing. Good job, guys. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a, you know, pay raise, tax cut, whatever. This dude got on the podium and said, hey, my father Solomon, he gonna be nice compared to what I'm about to do. I'm about to put y'all in subjection. I'm about to put y'all in slavery. And guess what? The whole, you know, what is that? 10 out of the 12 tribes
Right.
themselves from him, you know, but that's all, it was all the Lord's will. So ultimately these guys here in Benjamin, whereas they could have just, you know, we're going to see the aftermath of this decision that they made, whereas they could have just complied and just got along with the program, right? They wanted to buck up and say, nah, man, what y'all trying to, you know, that's my cousin, man. That's my auntie over there. Nah, man, we gonna fight. Y'all trying to fight against us. They ain't do nothing, man. Right? That spirit. You gonna say something, Zaquan?
Nah, I'm keep going.
Yeah. So continuing on here, Judges 20:14, right? It says, but the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities unto Gibeah to go out to battle against the children of Israel.
So them boys was fighting for wickedness.
Yeah.
And the Lord still had mercy on the tribe. You know, as you're gonna see as we continue. You got it.
Con, right? It says, verse 15, and the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men that drew sword. So you had 400,000 versus 26,000. So they were outnumbered, you know, what's that? About 20 men to one man, right?
Man,
They were outnumbered. But it says outside of the inhabitants of Gibeah, they were numbered 700 chosen men. So yeah, about it was at 26,000 26,700 versus 400,000. So they were vastly outnumbered, right? But you know, 400,000 men can't attack a group of men that small anyway. It can't. You know, when it comes to the big numbers like that, after a certain point, you know, you can't really just every man can't fight at the same time. So the numbers really could kind of go up or down without really without really changing the weight of the battle that much. You know, especially in this instance when the Lord wanted both sides to get judged. Really, when you look at it, because it says in verse 16, among all this people there were 700 chosen men left-handed. Every one could sling stones at an hairbreadth and not miss. So that accuracy, they had that pinpoint accuracy. And let me see if there's anything in this word left-handed. You know, these men, they had basically special power. That word here is yad, yamyun, and then we got ayash, atar. Let's see here, left-handed. Okay. Bound, impeded on the right, left-handed, shut up, impeded, bound, restricted as to his right hand, left-handed. Shut, bound, impede, right hand, who could not well use the right hand. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because even me, like for example, I'm left-handed. You know, when I write with my left hand, that don't mean I can't write with my right hand, but I can't write as well. I'm better with my left hand. And these men were so good with their left hand when it come to aiming, because naturally, you know, if you use a sword or you sling a slingshot, you know, you're gonna use your right hand. But these men, they weren't that good with their right hand. They were better with their left, and they were so good with their left that their accuracy, it says they could sling stones at an hair breadth. The breadth of a hair is minuscule. So basically, they could accurately hit any target that they wanted to hit with a slingshot, right? So these,
knock a fly off your ear.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know, for real. So they had that, you know, that level of skill with it, right? You know, they probably used it, you know, probably used that slingshot because, you know, David used a slingshot too, and he sunk that mug right in between, you know, right on Goliath's forehead. That wasn't a blind shot. That was skill, but the Lord was with that shot, of course. But y'all know, you know what I mean. Like these men were on that level when it comes to that what's it called? That skill, right? So it says, and the men of Israel beside Benjamin were numbered 400,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of war. So it shows the size of each opposing army, right? And so it says civil war, right? And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of the Most High and asked counsel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin? Right, because it's a custom. You're supposed to ask, you know, the Lord what to do, and you know, seek counsel of the Lord, right? Before you go up to war. That's another thing that Saul, he went off on. You know, he just at certain times he would just do random shit and without seeking counsel of the Lord. You see? So
Yep.
you all,
I was at the house of Saul. Saul was Benjamin,
yep.
and was fighting against the house of David.
Yeah. Yep. So you always want to seek counsel, man. no matter what you do, before you do it, I should say, you want to seek counsel, right? So it says, continuing on, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai said, Judah shall go up first. You see, so this is the tribe of Judah. They were selected because, again, you can't. I mean, 400,000 men. You can't attack a city like, it's not like how Dallas, the city of Dallas, however big Dallas is. Like, Dallas is a big ass city. Like, these cities were not. They're not our idea of cities. Is they were smaller. They were a lot smaller. It said they had 700 men of war. Plus their families, plus maybe maybe a few thousand people. Wasn't really all that big in size, so they couldn't all attack at once anyway. But the Lord said, okay, go up, Judah, go up first, right? Verse 19, and the children of Israel rose up in the morning and encamped against Gibeah, and the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin, and the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah, right? And when you do that, you would go and pretty much you would besiege the wall, because all these cities were walled, and they would typically try to enter in at the gate of the city, because it would typically be the part where they could get burned down, because it typically would be the gates of the city would be made out of wood, versus the other surrounding parts would be made out of stone. So it'd be easier to just burn down the gate of the city and then enter in that way. Or, maybe if they could find a way to break through the wall on another part of the city, a weak point or something. But typically they would enter in at the gate. But then again, you had those men with them slingshots. So, however they did it, it says the children of Benjamin came forth out of Gibeah and destroyed down to the ground of the Israelites that day, 20 and 2,000 men. So they lost 5% of their army on the first day to Benjamin. Okay. The other tribes, but chiefly Judah was the one that was selected to go up. So Benjamin came out, of the city, and they they killed 22,000 Israelites, predominantly Judites, right? And that was judgment from the Lord. You see, it says, and the men of Israel encouraged themselves and set their battle again in array in the place where they put themselves in array the first day, right? So they said, nah, we ain't done, but 22,000 men, that's a huge loss. Huge loss, and they said, nah, we're gonna come back. They encouraged themselves and they said, nah, to hell with that. We're gonna run it back tomorrow, right? Verse 23, and the children of Israel went up and wept before the Lord until even, right? And asked counsel of Yahweh Shem Shai, saying, shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? They knew that the Benjamites were their, was their brother. They knew they wasn't heathen, right? Because again, they sought counsel of the Lord to see who should go up first. And the Lord said, go, Judah gonna go up first, right? And then after the Lord allowed them to lose, right, they got their ass handed to them. They was like, dang, should we go up again? And the Lord said, go up against them, right? You have something you want to say, Zaquan?
Nah, I was about to say my phone overheating, so I'm gonna see if I can get the laptop working again.
Okay, Sabet. I'm gonna keep going here. So it says, and the children of Israel came near against the children of Benjamin the second day, right? And Benjamin went forth against them out of Gibeah the second day, and destroyed down to the ground of the children of Israel again 18,000 men. All these drew the sword. So basically, in a span of 2 days, you got 40,000 Israelites, okay, that were supposed to be, vindicating, they were supposed to be avenging the death, of that woman, and really just cutting out that wicked root of Israel that had did those things. All right, but at the expense of what? 40,000 men, right, in just 2 days. And this reminds me of that scripture in First Ezra's chapter 4. First Ezra chapter 4, where it talk about many have perished, from these women, man. Let me see here. Let me see verse 27, right? This is Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 27. It says, many also have perished, have erred, and have sinned for women. You see? And you can read up to, verse 26, read that often. Many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes, right? But yeah, this is all for, over a situation that happened with a woman. But at the same time, these niggas had to go. Talking about these guys and, these wicked Benjamites in Gibeah, they had to go. You know what I'm saying? Because, their intentions was wicked. They were trying to, you know, uh, uh, sexually assault a man that came into a city. They had a huge horny demon on him, man. And a sodomite demon on him, right?
Man, true.
I'm being nice with my words, by you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I'm talking about they killing up everything too. Talking about
Yeah,
thousands of their own people a day.
yeah, and defending it exactly. They like, look, you niggas want to come against us, we're gonna get y'all up out of there. So Benjamin wasn't playing. Benjamin, hey man, Benjamin will take it there. You know what I mean? We know through the history, Benjamin will take it there, right? So it says, verse 26, then all the children of Israel and all the people went up and came unto the house of the Most High. This is after the second day, right? They came up to the house of the Most High and sat there before the Lord. And I wanted to let me see, let me see if I can get this right. I want to get this map here. There's 20. It had a map, but I don't know if it's the right map. Tribe of Benjamin. I don't know if Mizpah is on this map. I know Gibeah is on this map. Bethel, Shiloh, Aphek. Yeah, I'll come back and find it. It's all good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Let me share this screen. This is the right one. Let me share this screen here. All right. So real quick, you got this map here. This is a map of the location of the Ark of the Covenant throughout different times, right? And when we read earlier in the chapter where it talked about Israel gathered together, the different tribes, they gathered together in Mizpah or Mizpah, pretty much it's the same thing, same city. You can see right here, it's on the edge of the tribal allotment of Benjamin and Ephraim. So, pretty much right here. Remember, Ephraim was known as the head tribe of the northern kingdom before it was another northern and the southern kingdom, but this was pretty much in the center, of Israelite territory. Mizpah would be a common meeting city, and you can see it's not that far from Gibeah. So it might have been maybe a few miles away. So I just wanted to show the distance in these two cities here. I don't know if there's a key. Yeah, there's a key down here in this bottom part. So the distance between here and here, 5 miles, not even 5 miles away, maybe about 5 miles away, right? So after that, day of fighting, they would go back to Mizpah and inquire of the Lord, and see what was going on, what they needed to do in order to win. So just to kind of give that what you call visual there. All right. So it says, verse 26, then all the children of Israel and all the people went up and came into the house of the Most High and wept and sat there before the Lord and fasted that day until even and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. So you know, they obviously knew that they did something wrong because the Lord is telling them, hey, go up against, against Benjamin, go up again, and they losing, right? So the Lord humbled them during that process. There was something that the Lord was saying in that process, even though, and the Lord put the spirit on them. The Lord put the spirit on them to go up against Benjamin, right? But in that process, there were Israelites that got put to death. In that process, there were Israelites that got put to death. And we see examples of that in other parts, of history. Like I believe in Second Samuel, like in the beginning of Second Samuel, shortly after Saul had passed, there was a dispute between Saul, the captain of Saul's house. I think it was Abner and Joab or something like that, and there was a skirmish, between the two camps, if you will. And there were some men that had got put to death, that were loyal to Saul, right? And there were some men that got put to death that were loyal to David, when they fought among each other. But those that were loyal to Saul, there was more. They got put to death, right? They were loyal to Saul, but some of them that was loyal to David still, they still got. And so the Lord judges men individually, at different times. Even if you might be fighting on the right side, you can still get caught out there, right? And so they were saying, "Look, Lord, whatever we done, Baba Koshal, let us know," right? And basically, that's the sentiment that's being conveyed here when it talks about they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. Why did they do that? Because they saw that they were not being successful in their military endeavor against Benjamin, right? So, Judges chapter 20 and 27, it says, "And the children of Israel inquired of the Lord, for the ark of the covenant of the Most High was there in those days," which makes sense because going back to this map here, okay, Bethel and Mizpah were they were probably like a mile apart, so could have went, right here pretty easily in those times, right? Um, so going back to verse 28, it says, "And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, Shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother, or shall I cease?" Right? This is the third time that they're asking that, right? And the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, said, "Go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into thine hand." You see? So, but the Lord wanted them 40,000 guys to get jacked up first, before the Lord delivered the Benjamites into the hand of the rest of the tribes of Israel, right? And you see, Israel was in a different spirit when they came back the third time. It says, "And Israel set liars in wait round about Gibeah." Okay, um, and the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in array against Gibeah as at other times, right? But the difference is this time they had liars in wait round about, and then but they also had, on top of that, they had the same military strategy, but this time they just added the guys that was hiding in the cut, so to speak, quote unquote, as they say, right? Um, and it says, "And the children of Benjamin went out against the people and were drawn away from the city, and they began to smite of the people and kill as the other time." So Benjamin was in a war spirit, man. They wasn't messing around. They're like, "Look, we're gonna dust these guys off day after day until they leave us alone." Right? They didn't care the fact that they were that they were their tribes, you know, the same nationality as them. They were like, "Shit, we protecting Benjamin." And that shows, there's another thing that shows. It shows that there was dissension. Is that the right word? Basically, like separation between the tribes, very much. So even
Go to Deuteronomy 28
okay,
and get the curse going into the evil eye towards his brother.
right.
Because when you read Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, it says, if you listen, you'll be good. I got you. But if you don't listen, you're going to be overcome with curses. This is a result of that.
Yep. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. Let's see here. It says, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of the children which he shall have.
See what it looked like in the NLT.
All right. Verse 54, NLT. All right. All right. It says Deuteronomy 28:54. NLT says, the most tenderhearted man among you will have no compassion for his own brother, his beloved wife, and his surviving children.
See, no compassion for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's a result. That's a result of disobeying the Heavenly Father, which we had all done by this point. You know what I'm saying? This is the Book of Judges. So
Yep.
you see, by the end of the Book of Judges, because by the end of the Book of Judges, the tribes is fighting each other. They was in captivity under all these other nations throughout all the other chapters, and then at the last few chapters, they at odds with each other. You
Mm-hmm.
see, so hey, the Lord, the Lord set it up to where a whole lot of Israelites got killed, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see, not being obedient to the Heavenly Father, man, it brings death upon us.
That's right. That's
You
right.
got it.
Yep. Con. Yep. And so, yeah, there's many instances, man. This is the history that, Esau will never teach you. I don't care how many times you go to church, this is the stuff. Esau not going to go into this type of stuff, man. Or the Christian pastor, excuse me. But now they starting to, some Christian pastors, Jake Christian pastors, they're trying to, say that the so-called black people are, or the Israelites, right? But it's more than that. It's Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But where they get that from? Ultimately, the Spirit of the Lord, that starting with the apostles and the elders, coming on YouTube. That's what's making it, more popular, man. The Israelites, ultimately, right? The elect. So the children of Benjamin, it says, verse 31, and the children of Benjamin went out against the people and were drawn away from the city, and they began to smite, of the people and kill, as at other times, in the highways, of which one goeth up to the house of the Most High, and the other to Gibeah in the field, about 30 men of Israel. Right, so they came up and they was going up in them highways, and they was doing their thing, Benjamin as usual, you know, and it says, and the children of Benjamin said, they are smitten down before us, as at the first. But the children of Israel said, let us flee and draw them from the city unto the highways. Right, so you got, Benjamin was in their territory. They brought the fight. Israel brought the fight to Benjamin, right? And they knew the land. They had the home court advantage, right? But basically, Israel had a plan. They said, look, we're going to draw these Benjamites out further from the city, and that's what they did. Right, verse 33, and all the men of Israel rose up out of their place and put themselves in array at Baal Tamar, and the liars in wait of Israel came forth out of their places, even out of the meadows of Gibeah. Right, so basically, they drew them out of the city, far away enough to where those individuals that was lying in wait uh, could go out and basically and attack the city, right? That the Benjamites were going back to. Right, it says, and there came against Gibeah 10,000 men, chosen out of all Israel, and the battle was sore, but they knew not that evil was near them. Right, so you guys basically had one battle going on at Baal Tamar, right? And then you had, and it was a fierce battle, right? But then you had at the same time, their whole city was getting destroyed, right? Right. This is verse 35. And the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, smote Benjamin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed of the Benjamites that day 25,000 and 100 men. All these drew the sword. So out of the what was it? They started with 27,000, right? And 25 thousand out of 27,000 got destroyed in one day. You see, so it was a bloody week, for Israel. But the Lord, He jacked them dudes up because you going to defend some niggas like that. That means you agree with it.
Right.
That means you consent to it. And all these individuals that want to fight for America, like talking about that spirit, that Trump spirit, fight, fight, fight. You gotta fight for your freedom. You want to fight with Esau? Okay, cool. You gonna die. Y'all gonna all sing kumbaya to hell, man. All right, which is the grave. Okay, all the Israelites that want to be in cahoot with wickedness, they're gonna suffer a wicked man's fate. All right. And we see this example right here. Right. It says in verse 36. So the children of Benjamin saw that they were smitten, for the men of Israel gave place to the Benjamites, because they trusted unto the liars in wait, which they had set beside Gibeah. Right. So they allowed them to come and basically chase them down. Right. Israel allowed Benjamin to come and chase them down. And by the time Benjamin figured that out, it said, and the liars in wait hasted and rushed upon Gibeah, and the liars in wait drew themselves along and smote all the city with the edge of the sword. You see, so not only did the Lord actually allow Israel to prevail, um, when they were having that battle in Baltimore, but also they came up into that city and they smote the city. They killed the individuals in there as well, right? Every woman, children, everybody that was in that mud got dusted off, right? Judges 20 and 38. Now there was an appointed sign between the men of Israel and the liars in wait, that they should make a great flame with smoke rise up out of the city. And when the men of Israel retired in the battle, Benjamin began to smite and kill of the men of Israel about 30 persons, for they said, surely they are smitten down before us, as in the first battle. Right? See, basically Israel stopped fighting because uh you know the liars in wait, they came and they burnt the city. They had already won. And Benjamin saw that the Israelites that they were fighting against, basically stopped fighting, and they started back, thinking that they was winning again, right? Even though 90% of their army got dusted off. So they basically was in a demonic fighting spirit, man.
Man.
27,000 men, okay, went out, but you got 25,000 out of the 27,000 got killed, and the last 2,000 pretty much trying to fight still, right? But it says, verse 40, but when the flame began to rise up out of the city with a pillar of smoke, right, like on Friday when that church was on fire, it seemed like the whole downtown was like, you could see that shit from miles away. Coming into the city, you could see like, damn, it's a big ass thing of smoke. So imagine a whole city on fire, pretty much, big ass city on fire. Well, a big part of the city, right, was on fire. And it says the Benjamites looked behind them, and behold, the flame of the city ascended up to heaven. And when the men of Israel turned again, the men of Benjamin were amazed, for they saw that evil was come upon them. See, because of 30 men that they killed, they didn't have to do that, but they thought that they were like, yeah, this is our chance, you know. And then when Israel was like, when they seen, damn, these niggas still trying to fight, so they turned back to jack them up. And then at the same time, Benjamin seeing, oh shit, damn, they how did Gibeah getting burned down, you know? So they saw that they were in straits, right? So it says, verse 42, therefore they turned their backs before the men of Israel unto the way of the wilderness, but the battle overtook them. And them which came out of the cities, they destroyed in the midst of them. So that remainder, a couple thousand dudes, they got jacked up too. They got dusted off too, right? It says, thus they enclosed the Benjamites round about and chased them, and trode them down with ease over against Gibeah toward the sun rising. And there fell of Benjamin 18,000 men. All these were men of valor. And they turned and fled toward the wilderness of the rock of Ramon. And they gleaned of them, in the highways 5,000 men, and pursued after them unto Gedam, and slew 2,000 of them. Right. So, you
You
know,
talking about the Lord dropping bodies, boy?
yeah, it was a lot of, going back and forth. Benjamin thinking that they were going to win, and then the Lord turned the tides of the battle, right, and jacked those guys up in return. And then you had the remainder of the remainder flee into the wilderness, trying to get some food. And gleaning is when you take, let's say you got a cornfield or a grape field or a vineyard or whatever, you take whatever low hanging fruit, and you just on the run. You ain't got nothing. Ain't no grocery stores. Ain't no whatever. You at war, so you got to get something, put something on your stomach. You know, so you would glean whatever you can walking through the field. Some corn or whatever it was, right? And but in the meantime, if you get caught by an Israelite, you got to fight, and they'll kill your ass because they know, oh, no, you was one of those men of Benjamin, right? And some of them did get caught and killed. 2 out of the 5,000 got killed, got slain, right? It says, so that all which fell that day of Benjamin were 25,000 men that drew the sword. All these were men of valor, but 600 men turned and fled into the wilderness unto the rock Ramon, and abode in the rock Ramon for 2 months, for 4 months. Excuse me, I'm sorry, for 4 months. So you had only 600 left. That's what you call a remnant. 600 men out of 27,000, right? And it says, and the men of Israel turned again upon the children of Benjamin and smote them with the edge of the sword, as well the men of every city, as the beast and all that came to hand. Also, they set fire on all the cities that they came to. So basically, they completely destroyed Benjamin. Like, not just that one city, like all the, them dudes that came out, to fight from the different. Let's go back to the map, right? Show this tab here. Here's some examples of some cities, in Benjamin. Kirjath Jearim, Kapira, Gibeon. Okay, of course, Gibeah. Of course, this is where the main fighting was going on. Rama, Ananoth, Mikmash, Ai. These cities, Gilgal, right? These different cities, Jericho. You had Israelites, excuse me, specifically Benjamites come to defend Gibeah, and these men of all these other surrounding cities all got killed, right? So now these cities are pretty much empty, it's empty of men, I'll say. And Israel was just going through, dusting these cities off, right? Basically destroying the cities, right? Just to make sure, like, there was no more rebellion or what's the word, revolting,
Yeah.
because that's basically what it was. It was a revolt, you see. And that was the account there, and that's pretty much the chapter. Let me see what we got here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the chapter. Now, when you go to chapter 21, we're not going to get all the chapter, but this is the chapter where Israel tries to figure out, okay, how are we going to replenish, how are we going to replenish the tribe that was lost, you know, because I mean, damn, like the whole. Oh, let me share this. The whole tribe of Benjamin minus, what was it, 600 men. That was all that there was left.
They was down to like 400, right?
Yeah, well, it said, yeah, it could have been 400, 600, just a couple hundred. You know,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, 400. You know, oh, they found 400 virgins.
Okay.
They found 400 virgins. And then in chapter uh 21, what was it? They had 600 men left. 600 men fled to the wilderness, and abode in the rock, and they abode in the rock Ramon for 4 months. You know, so basically the Lord diminished them down to what, a couple hundred men, and that shows you that he don't need the big numbers, man. Like, you
Nope.
know, those couple hundred,
He'll knock off big numbers though.
yeah, yep, yep. And there's plenty of instances of that in the scriptures, and that's why, you know, it's like Jake don't think that, you know, the Lord can activate that spirit again on the earth, but it's gonna, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
Go back, go back through the body count.
yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
says,
let's add these numbers up. You call them out. You call them out, and I'm gonna
yeah. Okay, well, we'll start.
I'm gonna get out my calculator.
Right, Khan. Yeah, we'll start with so Israel came out with 400,000 men, right? And the first day that Israel fought against Benjamin, there were, I think it said 22,000. Hold on, let me scroll down. 40. First of all, it was 400,000 men of Israel versus 26,000 men of Benjamin. So it was 400,000 Israelites, and then 26,000 Benjamites, plus the 700 men of Gibeah that came out of there. So basically, about roughly 27,000. And then you had,
how many died on the first day?
You had 22,000 men. Verse 21 says it here: 22,000 men of Israel that died on the first day, and then on the second day they came out again, and then another 18,000 men of Israel died. So that's 40,000 men right there, just in 2 days. And that's on Israel's side. And then when you scroll down to it says numbers individually, but it says all in one. It adds it all up for you right here in verse 46. All that fell in Benjamin on that day were 25,000 men. Right? So 25,000. I don't know why I said 27,000. Oh, because I was counting that 700. But yeah, basically 25,000 men of Benjamin. They all died in one day.
That's 65,000 men in less than a week.
Yep. Yep. That's a good sized city right there. You know what I'm saying?
65,000 men in less than a week, man.
So you don't think, and that's Israelites. You don't think the Lord going to jack up these Edomites and these other nations here in Babylon? Oh, that can't happen.
Bro, yeah, I don't think Russia can survive that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talking about Sakari. Yeah. What's the point of having Esau rule after Yahweh come back? That don't make no sense. I don't give a damn. 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's another topic for another day.
Come on, yeah, I don't. We're gonna go for another hour on that shit,
man.
But yeah, so that shows you right there. Well, let's get the scripture in Hebrews. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hand of Yahweh Shem Shai. Because both sides suffered losses. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31. It says, zoomed in too far. It says, it is a fear. Actually, let's start up verse 30. Right? It says, for we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? And again, the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You see that? So before the Lord got to Benjamin, guess what? Guess who we jacked up first? Israel.
Yep.
You see? He's like, hold on, I'm gonna get these Benjamites. Before I get them, I'm gonna make sure these specific guys get jacked up. And the Lord, and you think them guys knew, oh yeah, we're going out to our death right now. No, they thought, they were like, yeah, we're gonna get these guys. But them particular men that went up, the Lord, had them go up so they could get judged. But then Jake don't think that they can get judged here in 2024, because
man,
to their mind, Esau set up, the society to where you got police and you can call 911 in case anything crazy happens. You don't think that's trust? You don't think that your trust in the Lord is a little, a little weak? You don't think that when we say you put people put the Most High in the box, that's what we mean? You think that he can own that the Most High is only going to operate when you expect him to operate or how you expect him to operate? Nah, it ain't. That's not the way it goes. You know. But
Man,
yeah. But that was it on that chapter, Zaquan. I don't know if you had any other points you wanted to make. This is more of an example.
The Lord ain't queasy about death, man. You see, sin equals death, and throughout this book of Judges, you continue to see it went from judge to judge to judge to judge to judge, and the whole time Israel was being wicked as hell. So by the end of the chapter, by the end of the chapter, look, 65,000 men in a couple of days, and the Lord kept right on trucking. You see?
Yep.
So knowing that the Lord can bring death in that fashion and that fast, that brutal, that quick, the fear of the Lord is, matter of fact, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Come on. I got you.
Yeah, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom, man. We just read that it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, so you got to have that fear.
Yep. I got you right here. Let's see here. This is Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10. Okay, it says the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
Right? So when we're doing too much, the Lord get hot, the Lord get to dropping bodies to recorrect, to bring back order. You see? The Lord will drop your ass off quick, And we've been seeing that throughout the chapter, because with all of the different captivities and all of the different judges, Israelites was dying during that time too. So hey, look, with all this rebellion and all this stuff that's going on right now, it's set up. Why? Because 2/3 of the nation of Israel got to die. But the Lord always leave a remnant. So the sooner you figure that out, the better off you'll be.
Yep.
Look, we got a precept on the comment board.
Okay.
All right. Kakam Rakah, Shalom. Says Proverbs 3 and 7. It says, be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. You see? You continue to be evil, the Lord gonna be evil to you. He gonna tear your ass up. So with all this rebellion, just keep in mind, 2/3 of the nation of Israel got to die, but repentance is still on the table. So you better figure out what's going on with yourself, and that's, we talking to ourselves first and foremost. We understand that the Lord will drop bodies whenever he please, and drop a lot of them. You see? But yeah, if you don't got no other precepts, you go ahead and close.
Okay. I got this. I want to get this real quick. In this commentary. It talks about how the Benjamites were able to, basically beat the Israelites for the first 2 days, right? It says at the beginning of the battle, the battle went well for the Benjamites. They knew the terrain of the country better than the Israelites, and in those hilly regions, Israel's larger numbers were of no great advantage. So when I was kind of trying to explain it, this is a better example of explaining it. Over here in Texas, it's flat as hell, so we don't know what it's like to be over there in Israel. But you can't just attack in large number. Even when you look at the history of like how the Assyrians, they had to systematically go through Samaria. Like it wasn't just no easy thing to just walk through and take the towns down. Now you had to, there were certain passageways where only 1 or 2 men could go in at a time. So Israel's large numbers didn't really have much to do with it. But it says, added to this, the Benjamites were fighting for the lives of their people and for their homeland, whereas the Israelites shared no such personal interests. So Benjamin was fighting harder, right? It says also the Israelites could have been overconfident in their much larger army, right? Going into that scripture we just pulled out, basically not leaning on your own understanding, right? You gotta, depend on the Lord. Only when the Israelites became desperate and turned to the Most High in sincerity and in complete dependence did the Most High
Man,
promise them the victory.
I'm talking
See
about
that?
Benjamin made him. They made him go call on the Lord.
Mm-hmm. See
Say,
that?
y'all better. I would say, shit. I would say, yeah, we got a demon on us. Y'all better go pray.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Who else wanted with Benjamin? Yeah, they was. Hey, the Lord had a spirit on them to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, but that's what the Lord wanted.
Gone. Yep. And I want to get this last point in the second half of this second paragraph right here. It says, after the Benjamites lost, it talks about how only 600 of the Benjamite fighting force escaped. The Israelites, meanwhile, spread their attack throughout the whole tribal territory of Benjamin, burning the towns and slaughtering the people. See, so they kind of got. You could say one could say that they may have gotten overly aggressive, but at the same time, really the Lord put the spirit on them to do that. You know, the Lord put the spirit on them to go in like that, the way that they did. Kind of like how like one could argue that I think it was Benjamin and Levi that went in and slayed the Philistines when their daughter I'm sorry, when their sister Dinah had got, taken, one of the dudes that took their sister, and they told them, hey, look, it's all good, it's all good. Y'all
Oh
can
yeah,
marry your daughters. Everybody
yeah,
got to get circumcised, and then we'll let y'all marry them. And then they went in and killed them all.
yep.
One could say in that instance, they were being like a little too overzealous because Jacob had kind of cursed them out, like, man, like, damn, now we're gonna be hated amongst these guys, you know. But at the same time,
That's what the
it was
Lord wanted.
and that's what the Lord wanted, man. It was warranted, you know. So it was just one of them situations, one of them situations. And then this last week, next week, Lord willing, we'll get into the last chapter, you know.
Matter of fact, let's get one more precept.
Yeah.
The Lord's thoughts are not our thoughts.
Oh yeah, Isaiah 55. Yep, I got you.
I want to say unless the Lord reveals something to you, you're not gonna be able to just understand what's going on.
Yep.
You know, and we comfortable with that.
Okay. That's right.
We all say with Israel being the bride of the Most High, we're not looking in his phone and doing goofy shit. Go
Oh
ahead.
man, Khan. Sheesh, Khan. Isaiah 55:8, it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. See? So that's the thing, especially being westernized mentality, reading the scriptures can be super hard because you gotta remember who set this whole thing up, who set up your educational systems, and whose language are you speaking. This is Esau shit. You see, this is Babylon, man. Confusion. So of course, looking at things with a, a Western mentality when it comes to the Bible, the ancient world, is going to be, it's going to be jarring at times. But guess what? The scriptures talk about walking in the old paths, seeking out the old ways, right? Going to men of understanding, and the men of understanding are the ones that have this wisdom and knowledge. Okay, so hey, understand that these scriptures are here for our learning. There's gonna be a lot of things that happen in the future very soon, and even are happening right now, right, in the news and everything. But there's a lot of things that's gonna happen that the majority of people are gonna be bewildered and not gonna understand. They're gonna be praying to Jesus for um mercy and things like that, right? Their prayers ain't going to be heard, and they're going to stay blinded until they get put to death. But the Lord has given a small window of opportunity for us to actually get enough understanding to actually be able to make it out of this hellhole, man. You know, so that was it. That was all I
Come.
wanted to say. But Lord willing, man, we'll finish this series out here soon. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and those a great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.